Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. Oh my God, I'm so excited today. I'm super excited. That's like my new catchphrase on here, super excited. I am doing my June wrap up, which is very lengthy. And I haven't done a wrap up video on here in a long time. Like when I started Booktube, I felt like you had to do TBRs, you had to do wrap ups, you had to do all that kind of stuff. Now I know that like, you just do what you want to do. Like, that's the awesome thing about Booktube. And I so randomly, just like, if I like somebody, I watch whatever videos they put out. I don't really care what they put out. The reason I don't do TBRs anymore is because, like, I don't ever follow my TBR unless it's for, like, a readathon, and I have, like, 7 books picked out for a specific readathon. But other than that, like, if I do, like, a July TBR, I will never follow those books because, like, July 6th will happen, and I'll be, like, in a bookstore, and I'll think, oh, I want to read that book, and I'll go buy it, and then I want to start it that night, even though I have 9 million books to start over here. So, that's the life of a loving reader. I love to read so much. But anyway, so let's get right into my June wrap-up, of which I have 4 books. I was going to do 8, but 4. Count it, 4 books, which for me isn't a lot. I usually read between about 7 and 10 books a month. Now, for July, I'm aiming high. I'm aiming for like 10 or 15, because I got to get my numbers up. And I'm reading a lot of smaller books, and I'm doing catch-ups. I've been doing catch-ups for like 3 months now, trying to get these damn books done that I started last summer. So I actually finished one in June, so that will be one of them. But I read 1 Kindle book, 2 physical books, 2 physical books, excuse me, and 1 audiobook. So let's do the audiobook first of all. My audiobook that I read was Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. And it is the sequel to Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel, obviously. If you watch my videos consistently, I loved Sleeping Giants so much that Sylvain Neuvel put out last year. But I did not love Waking Gods. For me, a sequel has to just be so rich and so, like, in essence of the first one for me to get really into it, and I just never did. I mean, the characters were similar, but it was like 10 years later, and it felt very sad and depressing compared to the first one that felt exciting to me. I ended up giving it 3 stars, which for me, to be honest with you, to give a book 3 stars is really hard. Like, I usually give 4 and 5s. I don't love the star rating anyway. If I was gonna give it a percentage rank, I would probably, as a standalone, I would give it about a 60, and as a sequel, I would give it like a 71. I just didn't love it. I know other people have read it and they really liked it, so give it a try if you like Sleeping Giants. I had to read it to find out what happened, but I just didn't love it, you know? And I have to be honest with you, if he puts out a 3rd one, I probably won't read it. It's the exact same thing that happened with Rick Yancey's books. What was that one? The 5th Wave. Like, I loved The 5th Wave, the last 2 books. I should have just read it as a standalone. And that's the problem is I don't love series. So many people have told me, I like started the Marissa Meyer Lunar Chronicles, and I read Cinder and I loved it, but everybody told me they don't like Scarlet. And so like, I'm terrified to read Scarlet now because I know I want to read the whole series, but if I read Scarlet and I don't like it, I'm not going to want to go on. You know what I mean? So that's just how I am. Then the Kindle book that I finished was Traffic, by Ellen Hopkins. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. I would probably give it like an 88, 89%. It was the sequel to Tricks by Ellen Hopkins. And what it is about is it's about 5 teenagers from all over the United States with different backgrounds that all end up in Las Vegas as prostitutes. Different kinds of prostitutes, not all just like street prostitutes. And it's very interesting, and Ellen Hopkins is hands down one of my all-time favorite authors, especially for young adults. But I feel like her books are crossover, and that a lot of I enjoy reading them as an adult because a lot of the drug addiction and the recovery and things that she talks a lot about, I've personally been through. And although I wasn't a street prostitute in Las Vegas in, you know, my teenage years, I did have my own problems, and so I relate a lot to what she writes about. I think she really captures the adolescent voice. I think she's authentic and genuine with it. I think she really cares. And, you know, to me, I love authors that care about not just the book or the character, but the topic. And she really does her research well. I did not love Traffic as much as I loved Tricks. Part of it, I think, was because it took me so long to read. I'm not a Kindle book reader. I'm more of a physical book reader. And the other thing is that I just felt like it was very, like the first one was, they're all sad. I mean, all her books are sad, right? Because they're about sad topics. They're about body image issues and drug addiction and promiscuity and, all that kind of stuff. But I thought it was a very honest look at that, and she lives in that area, so she knows what goes on there. It was very honest, but almost honest to a point of just being very sad. And when you really read her books and you think about the fact that there are teenagers out there that are living these lives, it's hard to kind of like distance yourself from that. And I have a 20-year experience of working with teenagers, so I know that that exists. And so when I'm reading it, it's almost like I'm reading a case file, not a book, which is interesting to me on one part, but the other part of it makes me very sad, and I feel like there's only so much that I can do about it. So I really liked it. I think it's a great duology of hers. If you haven't read anything by Ellen Hopkins before, I would definitely suggest Tricks and Traffic together. They're great. And then the last two books are physical books. I'm saving the best for last. Now, if you haven't been watching my videos, you don't know that I'm absolutely addicted to these Scholastic teen books that came out like in the late 80s, early 90s. And I literally have like 20 of them over there now that I have been like finding at thrift stores. People have been sending it to me. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I'm like so excited. Actually, I have a couple over there that somebody just sent me that I should have done for this video, but I'm not gonna go pull them now. So anyway, I'll do them in my next haul video. I just read The Yearbook by Peter Lorangas. The Yearbook is about this guy that's in love with this girl named Ariana, and it's like spersed with like flashbacks that you don't really know why they're there. Anyway, and the yearbook gets messed up, and there are these poems on there like this. Pity, pity, Laura Chase, pretty hair and pretty face. Isn't it a sorry fate? She won't live to graduate. So like under certain pictures, there are these deadly poems, and then there's this mystery that weaves through there of people showing up dead. And it was really good. I really liked it. I actually think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I mean, it's totally cheesy, but I loved it for what it is. And then the last book that I have to talk about, I read on vacation. Now let me tell you how this came about. I was with my good GD Tanya, and I said, listen, Tanya, she reads all the time. She reads everything, okay? The only thing she doesn't read is young adult. Can you believe that? My best friend and I don't read the same things. And I said, what is the best book you've read in the last year that you literally could not put down? Because I want a book on vacation that I can't put down. She said, you need to read Big Little Lies. And I was like, girl, I've heard so much about that and the movie and all that kind of stuff. She's like, you need to read Big Little Lies, and then you need to watch the show. So I took Big Little Lies with me on vacation. Now let me tell you what's interesting. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you know that I'm very weird about like dog bending pages and all that kind of stuff. I tore the shit out of this book, and I had a lot of fun with it too, doing that. I set it on the Chase Lounge like that. It got wet from the pool. I was bending down pages. I was like, this is how you read a book. Like, it is so weird that on this vacation, like, I changed as a reader, okay? I no longer, like, I don't care how my books look. I don't care if they're in perfect condition. I just want to enjoy and to saturate a book. I want a book to become part of me and carry it around in my backpack and bend pages and underline and write. I want those to be my books. Like, and I really learned that on this. Instead of like keeping a book and making sure that all the pages are perfect. Fuck that. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. This book is so fantastic. It is so funny. If you are an adult that knows women who have kids in school, especially elementary school, this book is for you. I mean, I literally, every character in this book, I know somebody exactly like. And Leanne Moriarty is such a fine writer. It was so well done. And I don't want to tell you what the book is about. I don't want to do any spoilers on it because you don't see where it's going, but the book is past bestseller-ish pop culture book. It really has an important meaning. It's very valuable today in our society. And I was really impressed with how it was done. I cannot sing this book's praises enough. This is hands down the best book I've read this year so far. And I think I've read 20 books so far this year. I'm not doing very well on my goal of 100. But this was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. I'm glad I read it in physical form and did not listen to it on audio. I watched, my husband and I 2 nights ago, we sat down and we watched all 7 hours of the series. And it was really good too. They changed a lot, but they kept the characters the same. The actresses were so good that played in the part. The show is just as good. I will say, if you've seen the show, you could still read the book, but it would ruin a lot for you. Because the part of the excitement of reading the book is that she slowly feeds you the mystery of what's going on, and it's just done so well. So I went and I just bought The Perfect Husband by her. I want to read everything she's written. I thought she was fantastic. So yeah. So those are my 4 reads for June. And then I wanted to talk about some books that were sent to me. The first book is Through the Shattered Looking Glass by M.L. Crane. And I was really excited about getting this book. She and I have kind of talked back and forth on Twitter. And this is her first book. And she's writing the sequel to this, actually, as we speak. And so let me just read you the back of it. And there's a lot of these, like, Alice in Wonderland kind of retellings, but this one is really interesting. Alice Dodson was happier than she had ever been in her life. She and her girlfriend, Rose, had just moved into a little beach house by the ocean, and she had just started an internship at the Ludwig Mental Health Institute. She was finally putting her past behind her and looking forward to her future. That is, until the nightmares began. Working alongside Dr. Louis C. Pelletier, isn't that cute? A cigar-loving psychiatrist, Alice discovered that there was more to him and the Institute than she realized. There were secrets around every corner, unusual patients with a strange connection to her past, and a shadowy figure calling out her name. Will Alice learn the truth before she's too late? A chilling retelling of the children's classic, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, a modern-day adult horror filled with twists and turns and psychological thrills. I will link this below so you guys can go check it out on your own. I have not read it, so I have no idea, but I'm very excited about reading this. And I should do like a whole week where I read like all Alice in Wonderland retellings. Wouldn't that be interesting? And then the last book that was sent to me was, and what's really funny is this author reached out to me, and I'd actually seen this on Goodreads and already marked it, wanting to read. And then she reached out to me, and I was like, this is kind of like simpatico. I like this. Okay, and that is The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. And she signed it. I love when people sign books. And she put to Peter, may your summer never melt. And then she even dated it and everything. I love that. Oh my God. Okay, so let me just read you this. Fielding Bliss has never forgotten the summer of 1984. The year a heat wave scorched breathed Ohio. The year he became friends with the devil. Sal seems to appear out of nowhere, a bruised and tattered 13-year-old boy claiming to be the devil himself, answering an invitation. Fielding Bliss, the son of a local prosecutor, brings Sal home, where the Bliss family welcomes him, assuming he's a runaway from a nearby farm town. When word spreads that the devil has come to Breathed, not everyone is happy to welcome the self-proclaimed fallen angel. Murmurs follow him and tensions rise, along with the temperature, as an unbearable heat wave rolls into town right along with him. As strange accidents start to occur, some in the town, riled by the feverish heat, start to believe that Sal is exactly who he claims to be. While members of the Bliss family wrestle with their own personal demons, a fanatic drives the town to the brink of catastrophe that will change the sleepy Ohio backwater forever. And she's from Ohio, and I love that she's from Ohio, and here she is. Isn't she gorge? Oh my God, look at that author picture. Tiffany McDaniel is an Ohio native whose writing is inspired by the rolling hills and Buckeye Woods, the land she knows. The Summer That Melted Everything is her debut novel by St. Martin's Press. My God, we're all right. Get it. So anyway, I'm super excited to read this. This is like a perfect Indiana summer read. So I'm going to read this month. I may read this for Booktube-a-thon. When are those damn challenges coming out? So anyway, that's my wrap up and a few books that I was sent. And yeah, if you want to see everything that I'm reading, I'm currently reading, I think, 6 books right now. If you want to see all 6 books I'm reading, go check out my Goodreads. It's listed below or on my channel. And I will be back tomorrow with another video. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.